Are we live? Hello. Hello out there on Facebook and YouTube. It's Dreena and I'm making muffins. We're making some muffins today. So it's getting chilly. I'm already freezing, guys. We're how many weeks? 2 weeks into September and I'm freezing. Anyhow, it's kind of like we're feeling like baking again. Baking's in the air. And I am making my chocolate chip muffins from Dreena's Kind Kitchen. You guessed it. This is the recipe. This is what it looks like. These are so easy. They're really easy, guys. So I want to show them to you today so that you'll start making them, right? Because I find when I demo a recipe, it encourages you guys to try it out at home. So we're going to get started. And my recipe, first, have you made the recipe? Let me ask you, okay? So those of you out there with Dreena's Kind Kitchen, have you made these chocolate chip muffins? Let me know. Have you made any muffins from the new book? Let me know. We've got sweet potato muffins in there, lemon poppy seed muffins, the chocolate chip muffins. There's chocolate zucchini bread. There's the top of the muffin to you, which I also have a video for. Let me know if you've made any of those or what you're loving from the book. I'd like to hear from you. Let me know what recipes you're trying and loving. So I actually baked up a batch of these this morning and they turn out really nice. They've got a really like the finished muffin has a nice like crackle look and they're a little bit crisp when you first take them out of the oven and then really nice tender crumb inside. So I baked some up this morning and let's get making them now. Hi, Nick. Haven't made any recipes yet. Yes, right. We're all turning our ovens on now because it's getting cool. It's sure shifted here. Temperature has shifted a lot. Okay, so I'm starting in the recipe. I called for whole wheat pastry flour. I don't have any right now, so I'm using spelt flour. So I'm going to be using just a tiny bit more spelt flour. So people ask me all the time, can I sub this flour for this flour? Every flour is a little bit different. They don't sub always one for one in baked goods. So here, when I'm using spelt flour, I usually use another few tablespoons to the measure of whole wheat flour because I find whole wheat flour is a lot more dense, like it's a little heavier, and spelt flour I can add a little bit more for the same volume. Nick is saying she had the cornucopia salad for lunch and loved it. Wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad, so glad. And Maureen saying she got the book yesterday. Super. That took a while. Where are you? That took a while. I realized I don't have milk for the muffins. I thought I had everything. I'm gonna run and get the milk. You guys stay there. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk to each other. Tell us what you're making. I'll be right back. All right, that was a mad dash to the garage, guys. Sorry. So I have about 2¼ cups of spelt flour in here versus 2 cups of the whole wheat pastry. And now I'm adding some almond meal. So almond meal is what makes these muffins nice and tender without using oil. And if you want nut-free, I would suggest trying pumpkin seed meal. You would just take pumpkin seeds and process them in a food processor or a small food processor so you get a meal. And I might do actually half pumpkin seeds and half hemp seeds. I don't have that written in the recipe. There's a few little almond meal. There's a few little balls in there, so I'm just pressing those out. Clumps of almond meal. There we go. And now we need some baking soda and baking powder. Oh, Monica's here. Hey, Monica. She just made my zucchini bread. Awesome. So Monica was one of my recipe testers, and it's lovely to see you here. And she helped me name the book as well. So big props to her for that. So I'm adding a little bit of salt as well. My dog's going to bark because, the camera's on, so the dog is going to make some noise. And some baking powder. There we go. And I've got the salt in there. So that's all the dry ingredients. That's it, guys. It's really simple. And of course, the chocolate chips. I like to use the mini chocolate chips in these, right? So these are the little tiny, small mini chocolate chips. And I just find when you're having a muffin and you have a more tender crumb, that the small chocolate chips, the mini ones, work a lot nicer. But absolutely, you can use the bigger chocolate chips, the regular size. There we go. And I'm not measuring these. We don't need to measure chocolate chips, do we? Just throw them in there. I did a video on these containers a couple of days, well, not a couple of days ago, last week, I think. So if you're curious about the zip top, super handy little containers, I have a video on those. And there's also a link in the description if you want to check them out. I've been loving them. And now we're going to add the wet ingredients. So we've got a cup of milk that I now have. My dog is being extremely noisy. Let's see. I'm using soy milk here because that was the first milk that I could grab in the garage without digging into a box. So, because we also buy oat milk from Costco and we have them in the big boxes that they sell them in. So this was the first thing that I could find. But you know what? I actually really like soy milk for baking. So I find it has a richer consistency and taste. So I do use it for a lot of my testing. And it's kind of like my standard milk. But you could also use oat milk is nice in here, and nut milk if you want. And that's some vanilla. And I need, maple syrup. And how much is that now, guys? Can you put on the meters? 3rd cup. Maple syrup. Yeah, I got my hoodie on today, guys. I'm already missing the warm weather, although it's shaping up out there now. It's getting a lot nicer outside, getting warmer, but it was chilly this morning, a little damp, and I sure feel it. I picked up this hoodie recently at Vegan Supply. If you want to check out that place, it's vegansupply.ca, and it's a Canadian company, but they ship everywhere. They'll ship outside of Canada into the US. And yeah, I picked up this little hoodie here. Where's this? I'm on this side. Eat plants, feel good. And I love it. It's so soft and cozy inside, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just really love it. Oh, and then I'm adding some banana. So this is an option, but I really love adding, is that my right, this one? Yeah. A little bit of diced banana in these. So this is what I do. I take the banana. You can do this on the plate, but I tend to squirt down one way like that and just dice it a small amount. And then as it gets thicker, I squirt that way. And that way I'm just getting a nice small diced banana into the muffin mix. So this is really nice. It's like this little pop of flavor and sweetness, and banana and chocolate goes, it just goes really well together. But you could also add what I think is especially delicious in muffins or pancakes with chocolate chips is blueberries, fresh blueberries, frozen. So if you have any of those on hand, I find that works really, really good too. Well, that banana's not looking too good there. Okay, so that may be enough. And then just working that in. And that is it. I'm actually finding this batter is a tiny bit thick. I think I may have added just a tiny amount too much of the extra spelt flour. I'm just adding another dash of milk. And getting that working around. And I'm seeing some more comments. I'll have a look here now. So I kind of judge the consistency and adjust a little bit, but if you go by the recipe, you'll be all A-okay. Sometimes I freeform it a little too much with baking when I'm at home. And I just want to get things into the oven. Oh, and now I use my cookie scoop. This is my favorite thing to use for baking. Not a cookie scoop, but an ice cream scoop. And just take a big mound and get it into your muffin liners. And these are parchment muffin liners. So these are really a game changer for oil-free baking. If you're finding your muffins are sticking to the liners, I'm making these way bigger, by the way. So the recipe calls for baking 23 minutes, I think, and it's 12 muffins. Well, I'm deciding I'm making these bigger today, so I'm going to bake them longer. I'm just letting you know I'm really mounding them in the muffin liners. So I just feel like having some big muffins, kind of like bakery style. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Do you hate it when that happens? When you put it in the, okay, I'm going to show you. When you put it in the liner and it slips out from under. Pet peeve. So I'm going to pull that one out. That one is just messy now. And I'm going to scrape out the remainder and fill up the rest of them. Here. Oh, here. Whoop. And let's top up a few extras. Whichever ones don't look quite as high, I'm going to fill them up. I just want some big muffins because the ones I did earlier are their standard size from the recipe, just kind of a standard muffin size. I feel like making these big ones. Oh, you know what I did? I forgot sugar in there. That's okay. It still tastes sweet enough. See, if I don't follow my recipe exactly, I too make mistakes. We all do it. So I made these this morning. I made them exactly per the recipe, and making them this time, I just tasted the batter a little bit, and I could taste that it wasn't quite as sweet. But you know what? I think they're going to be just fine without that. It's just a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, and I think they're going to be just fine. So you know what I'm going to do? Instead, I'm going to improvise. So hang tight. I think it's because I didn't have the sugar out with the rest of the ingredients. So now what I'm going to do, since they're not going to be quite as sweet, and I invite you to do this as well, I'm going to top them off with a little extra chocolate chips, because I mean, why not? And then I'm going to sprinkle them with a little of the coconut sugar. And this will add a little sweetness. And also, you know, when you have baked goods and they have that little bit of sugary topping, it's kind of irresistible, I have to say. So that's what I'm going to do, just add a little bit of the coconut sugar on top of each. And I'll just give that pop of sweetness and kind of make up for the fact that I omitted it by accident in the recipe. But seriously, this happens all the time, right, guys? Like, your mind, sometimes you're baking and your mind is elsewhere, just like everything in life. You can be, there they are. I'm going to show those before I continue talking. And don't they look good? Even just pre-baked, don't they look good? This one here looks especially good. So I'm going to get those into the oven. And I'm going to bake those a bit longer. I'm going to time it for 25. And then I'll check them after to see how they're going. So, yeah, I'm just getting these in. I've got to pick up the girls at school soon. So I'll be able to pull these out before I get them. But you guys won't see them because I'm not going to have you sit around for 25 minutes while I talk. But I did bake some earlier, which I showed you. And this is how they turn out. Really tender and delicious. So I want you guys to try them. But what I was saying is, baking at home, you know, I sometimes miss an ingredient and it happens. So if you guys find that sometimes a recipe, you might think it's not working well, but sometimes we inadvertently skip an ingredient. It happens all the time. So it could happen to you, could happen to me. And just know that if you're trying out a recipe and it's not working as you think it might, go back and have a look through the ingredients again and just see, double check. You might be able to salvage it and get the ingredient in there. In this case, I already had them scooped into the muffin liner, so I wasn't going to take them out and work in the sugar. If I had known or realized in time, then I probably would have added in the sugar, but it will be fine. They'll taste great. And that's it. And then these are the finished muffins as well that are just kind of regular size, but they're really good. And see these the parchment liners, see how easily they come off? There's no pull at the muffins. And they're really delicious. And I'm just having a check of the comments real quick. Oh, Mary, yeah, definitely give the chocolate zucchini bread a try. I had a reader email me just yesterday, said it didn't work for her. But most people have had really good success with it and loved it. So it's definitely been a popular recipe. Give it a try. And thank you, Debbie. I'm so glad you're enjoying the book. Monica's so Monica loves my crazy brownies from Plant-Powered Families. And my dog is barking so much. And I don't have the book handy, but the crazy brownies in Plant-Powered Families are absolutely decadent, delicious. And it is crazy what's in them. You want to make them and then tell people what's in them after, because it's kind of hard to believe that they have potato, dates, and kidney beans. I use kidney beans instead of black beans. I like the texture better. I find they're creamier. And my poor dog is going crazy. I have to go see him very soon. And they also have some like nut butter in it. So it's or tahini. You can do nut free. They're absolutely like so fudgy delicious. And so she's just saying sometimes she wants to skip making the frosting and just adds extra chocolate chips, right? So that's another little tip there for you guys. So that's it. I will wrap it up. And if you're using Dreena's Kind Kitchen and loving it, please, please, please add a review on Amazon. I have that link in the description as well, or you could just pop to Amazon.com and search the book and then leave a little review. That would be most appreciated. And that's it for now. I've got to go see what's bothering the dog, pick up the girls, and get on with the rest of the day. So I hope the rest of your day is lovely, guys. Okay, see you. Bye.